truck, you maggot! It's early morning on May 3rd, and after hundreds of arrests yesterday, everyone is wondering whether the protests will continue. Dr. King, after yesterday, how do you feel about continuing your march? How many children were arrested?
I was hesitant at first to send out the children, but they have shown me that if they put their minds to something, we sure can't stop them. They have done so well, and they have played a big part in this march. When I first heard the answer to your second question, I myself was very surprised. In total, 973 children were arrested yesterday.
Morning, kids. If yesterday was D-Day, today is double D-Day.
Huh, what's your name?
My name is Louis.
And why are you here, Louis?
For freedom for me and everyone else.
Hell, what's your name?
John.
How old are you, John?
3 years old.
And why are you here?
Tweet 'em!
Turn on the fire hoses!
You're all under arrest. Where did all these kids come from? We need help. Bring in some.
Bring in the dogs!
And sir, how do you feel about hurting these children?
I honestly don't like hurting these kids. They did nothing wrong, but it's my job, so I gotta do it.
And sir, how do you feel about it?
I feel those little kids have no place to stir my rights. They should go back to their nasty little houses and cry their nasty little mammies about this. Y'all under arrest. I miss my mama.
It was your choice to come, but I'll always be here supporting all right. Stick with me, I'll get you off first. Don't worry, you'll go home soon.
Settle down, maggots, or I'll add on to your sentence. Ah, finally some quiet.
Freedom, 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 freedom.
Stop singing that song, you maggots!
Fine. We'll just sing something else.
Ain't gonna let O'Connor turn me
Shut up.
around.
Shut up.
Turn me around.
Shut up. It's bad enough that there's 5,000 of y'all.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, President of the United States, John F. Kennedy.
The time has come for this nation to fulfill its promise. The events in Birmingham and elsewhere have so increased the cries for equality that no city or state or legislative body can prudently choose to ignore them. The fires of frustration and discord are burning in every city, north and south. Where legal remedies are not at hand, redress is sought in the streets. Demonstrations, parades, and protests, which threaten violence, which threatens lives. Next week, I shall ask the Congress of the United States to act, to make a commitment it is not fully made in this century, to the proposition that race has no place in American life or law. about it, it will happen again. Now my daughter's life is gone and we have to change it. This place is known as Birmingham for a good reason. I will work my hardest to change this, but it mustn't continue.
Amen, sister.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe. In the streets, no justice, no peace, no racist beliefs, no rest till we're free. Blood in the streets, no justice, no peace, no racist beliefs, no rest till we're free. To the parking lot, parked it, zipped up my parka, joined the procession of marchers. In my head, like, is this awkward? Should I even be here marching? Thinking that they chant, how can I read? Thinking that they chant, what do I sing? I want to take a stance because we are not free. And then I thought about it, we are not we. Blood in the streets, no justice, no peace, no racist beliefs, no rest till we're free. Blood in the streets, no justice, no peace, no racist beliefs, no rest till we're free. Am I on the outside looking in, or am I on the inside looking out? Is it my place to give my 2 cents, or should I stand on the side and shut my mouth? No justice, no peace. Okay, I'm saying that. They're chanting out Black Lives Matter, but I don't say it back. Is it okay for me to say? I don't know, so I will watch and stand in front of a line of police that looks the same as me. Only separate a bag, a baton, a can of mace, a mask, a shield, a gun, gloves and hands to give an alibi. Takes one dies down the bullet that flies out of the night. Takes another child's life on sight. In the streets, no justice, no peace, no racist beliefs, no rest till we're free. Blood in the streets, no justice, no peace, no racist beliefs, no rest till we're free.
Yes, the events in Birmingham did lead to the Civil Rights Act, and many forms of discrimination have since been outlawed. We've made some progress, but have we truly reached freedom land? Breaking news in the Supreme Court. In the case of Obergefell versus Hodges, gay marriage has been ruled legal in all 50 states by a 5-4 vote. Justice Anthony Kennedy wrote the opinion for the majority, stating that the 14th Amendment guarantees the right to marry and that both same-sex couples and opposite-sex couples apply this guarantee.
In forming a marital union, 2 people become something greater than they once were. It would misunderstand these men and women to say they disrespect the idea of marriage. They ask for equal dignity in the eyes of the law. The Constitution grants them that right.
There were 2 main questions that were being asked during this case. Does the 14th Amendment require a state to license gay marriage?
And does the 14th Amendment require a state to recognize a gay marriage legalized in another state? Well, yes and yes.
Chief Justice John Roberts Jr. wrote the dissenting opinion saying that while gay marriage may be okay, the Constitution doesn't address it.
If you're one of the many Americans who favor expanding same-sex marriage, celebrate the decision but do not celebrate the Constitution. It had nothing to do with it. And as for whether people will respect the decision, we are not sure. There are some very homophobic people out there.
I'm here with Kentucky County Clerk Kim Davis, and we're going to talk about her views on
religion. I am a true Christian, and I won't license anything that violates my religion. It's never been about gay or lesbian for me. It's about how God defined marriage from the very beginning. It's about upholding his word.
What about following the Supreme Court decision in the Constitution? Is there some way these rules don't apply to you as a public official?
Once again, I shouldn't have to do anything that violates my religion. Gay marriage is unjust and wrong.
This seems familiar. Do you realize you're doing just what segregationists did after Brown versus Ford, except with Obergefell versus Hodges? You're essentially being a segregationist.
I am not a segregationist. I'm just a woman following the word of God.
Why don't you resign from your job if you're not willing to do the way the law requires?
Why would I quit a job that I love and I'm good at?
Thank you for your time, Ms. Davis.
When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful.
Breaking news. Planes have crashed into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. Authorities suspect it was a terrorist group, possibly by the terrorist group Al-Qaeda. The Boston Marathon has been bombed. Police do not know who has done it, but 3 people have died and over 200 people have been injured.
That'll tell him, those ISIS terrorists. My buddy says that there's one of the Muslims at his daughter's school. Why would the school do that?
They ain't American after 9/11 and the Boston Marathon bombing. The next Moscow Sea, I'll burn it down. Let's go before we get caught.
Terrible, just terrible. We're just walking around and we don't get 5 steps without seeing the mark of someone who never bothered to educate themselves about a peaceful faith or someone who chose stereotypes over facts.
I know, but it'll get better. You know what this is like? This is like the civil rights stuff we learned about at school. People were called some of the things that were written on that wall, told that they were worse than someone else, or that they were dangerous, but you see how much better things are now.
Things are a lot better, but nothing's perfect.
Why you got those towels on your head? You a terrorist or something? Huh? Take those off!
Hello, and welcome back. Here we have Malala Yousafzai, who is an advocate for girls' education and the youngest winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. Thank you for being here. Now, we know that certain politicians have proposed a ban on new Muslims entering the country. What are your thoughts on this?
The more you speak about Islam and against all Muslims, the more terrorists we create. It is important that whatever politicians say, whatever the media says, they should be really, really careful about it. If your intention is to stop terrorism, do not try to blame the whole population of Muslims for it, because it cannot stop terrorism. It will radicalize more terrorists.
Now, addressing the subject of terror groups. If I remember correctly, you were shot in the head by a member of the Taliban for promoting girls' education. Do you think children of the members of the Taliban or other terrorist groups would deserve an education?
Absolutely. Every child should have the right to education, no matter what religion, race, or group they or their parents belong to. We are all equal in the eyes of the law.
Thank you for being here. Racism and the civil rights movement are not over. The activists we studied set a precedent. Now we must take action.
During our own lives, there have been a series of cases where black people, especially black men, have been killed by policemen or other people claiming to be enforcing the law. Many times, nothing was done to the people responsible. Michael Brown, an unarmed black man in Ferguson, Missouri, was shot and killed by a police officer who was not put on trial.
After demonstrations in Ferguson, the U.S. Justice Department did a report on the Ferguson Police Department. They found that the policing courts often violated the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments. Black people, especially young black men, were repeatedly harassed and arrested. Often, the courts would charge fees to appeal tickets or other charges that were above the penalties. And sometimes, if you couldn't pay the charges, you would go to jail.
There were many other cases. In Baltimore, a black man named Freddie Gray died while in police custody due to a severed spine. There were protests and investigations, and some of the police officers who arrested him were charged with murder, but none were tried.
In New York City, a man named Eric Gardner was killed by police officers who put him in a chokehold while trying to arrest him. Eric Gardner had asthma and repeatedly said, "I can't breathe."
In South Carolina last year, a police officer shot and killed Walter Scott, an unarmed black man running away from a traffic stop. The officer was charged with murder after a video was discovered that was completely inconsistent with the officer's report. It showed him shooting Scott in the back.
Wait, don't get the idea we're all against the police, because we're not. We're just saying that history shows us that sometimes some police, along with some other people, have acted on racial beliefs and done violent harm. When this happens, the police need to be tried, held responsible and tried, just like everyone else. If they don't, that makes some people more suspicious of the police and everyone less safe.
And obviously, it's not just the police. Last year, white supremacists went into a black historic church that was involved with the civil rights movement and killed 9 people.
And it's not just about violence, it's about fair chances. Last month, right here in Boston, there was a story about how black and Latino people don't make nearly as much as a white person, even if they have a better education. A Latino person with an associate's degree makes $2,000 less on average than a white person with a high school diploma.
And it's not just about race. There's prejudice based on religion, on sexual orientation, and sexual identity. We have all seen the story about how the U.S. women's soccer team is being paid a fraction of what the men are paid, even though they are more successful and earn more money for the soccer association.
The most important thing to take away from all of this is that still more problems are still going on today, and we must all take action. Nonviolence is possibly the most courageous form of protest and the best form of protest.
And remember, the civil rights movement is not just about one event or powered by one person. It is a mass movement powered by ordinary people like you and us.
No matter who you are, child or adult, you can make a change, for the better or for the worse.
The entire world is not yet free.
Don't make history repeat itself.
This is our past, hopefully not our future.
There'll be no more wars.